at 6 begins with breaking news.
Former Congresswoman Corrine Brown found guilty on 18 of 22 counts against her. Now, Brown did not talk to the media after the verdict, but her attorney did.
Well, you know, she's going to head home. She's going to spend time with family. Obviously, it's been a very taxing time. And, you know, after that, she'll get up tomorrow and she'll continue to fight.
Continue to fight. Congresswoman Brown not giving up just yet.
Her attorney says he will file a motion for a new trial. Let's get you caught up on today's events. Just after 2 this afternoon, the jury announced its verdict. The verdict came after nearly 23 hours of deliberations. Sentencing is expected to happen in 90 or more days. Action News Jax has been at the courthouse since day one of this trial. We've had our law and safety expert breaking down every day's events and, of course, our crews inside the courtroom. But first, let's go to Action News Jax anchor Tanika Hughes live outside the federal courthouse. Tanika.
And Letitia and John, Corrine Brown showed little emotion as she left the courthouse today. She will remain free until she is sentenced, and her attorney says that he will work to make sure that she does not go to prison in the meantime. That jury found Brown guilty of 18 of the 22 counts against her, and they found her guilty on the conspiracy to commit mail and wire fraud, guilty on 5 of the 7 counts of aiding and abetting mail fraud, guilty of 7 of the 9 counts of aiding and abetting wire fraud, guilty of scheme to conceal material facts, guilty of corrupt endeavor to obstruct and impede the due administration of the Internal Revenue Law, and guilty of all 3 counts of filing false tax returns. Brown was surrounded by her legal team, her family, and friends when she left the courthouse. She did not respond to questions from reporters. Sky Action News Jax was also overhead when the former Congresswoman left the downtown area in a black Mercedes. Now, late this afternoon, Brown did issue a statement that reads in part, "While I respect the jury's decision, I disagree with it, and I want to make it clear that I maintain my innocence. I did not commit these crimes, and I intend to file a motion for a new trial. I will continue to stand on my record of decades of faithful service to this community and the nation." Now, Action News Jax Jenna Bourne was in the courtroom during this entire trial, and Jenna, Brown's attorney is already talking about his client's sentencing.
The judge says Corrine Brown's sentencing is at least 90 days away. Her accused co-conspirators, Ronnie Simmons and Carla Wiley, will be sentenced first. But that did not stop her attorney from looking ahead to his next job, keeping the former Congresswoman out of jail. Former Congresswoman Corrine Brown left the courthouse looking drained. But what happened behind closed doors after learning her verdict?
I think if any of you are looking for news that she was crying or upset or anything like that, that's not the case at all.
Her attorney James Smith says he plans to file a motion for a new trial.
No one's life is a snapshot. Our lives are films, and you have to look at each and every frame. And Corrine Brown is not going to be defined by what happened here today in this courtroom. She still has plenty of days left on this earth.
But will she spend them in prison? If Smith's future motion for a new trial is not granted, Brown will have to appear before a judge for sentencing. She faces sentences that add up to hundreds of years behind bars and millions in fines.
I usually don't say things aren't going to happen. That's not going to happen. You know, if that were to happen, I would come back here and I would wear what channel you're from, CBS 47, CBS 47 hat, and say that I'm an idiot. That's not going to happen.
I watched the jury as the judge read their 22 verdicts aloud. They looked thoughtful and confident. You can find the actual verdict form they filled out on my Twitter and on our website. Reporting live downtown, Jenna Bourne, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
And right now, I want to bring in Action News Jax law and safety expert Dale Carson. And Dale, Jenna just talked about Brown's attorney, talking about how he didn't believe she was going to get the maximum 357-year, $5 million sentence here. I mean, so I want to talk, too, about the fact that he says that he's going to work to keep her out of prison while they work to fight this. How will that be possible?
Well, the federal guidelines are simply that, guidelines. And they're a reference point for a judge to use. But she's going to have what's known as a pre-sentence investigation that's going to go through all of her positive service, and that number that we've discussed isn't anywhere near what she's going to get.
And again, and in the meantime, as she fights to appeal.
Right, and of course, the first thing they're going to do is ask for a new trial, and then they're going to appeal any decision that comes after that, which will probably be a denial of the motion for a new trial. And this could take quite literally years to come to a conclusion, because the appellate levels are slow, as we all know, and it eventually might work its way to the Supreme Court. During that pendency of the appeal, she's most likely going to be out of custody and home, waiting for that outcome.
All right, thank you for your perspective, Dale. And, you know, she talked about she plans to fight for a new trial. Her supporters who were outside of the courtroom encouraged her to do just that. Action News Jack's Lorena Inkland has been speaking with her supporters all throughout this entire trial. And, Lorena, at times you spoke to people who were very emotional about what happened today.
Upset and emotional, Tanika, as Corrine Brown was very uncharacteristic of her to not say anything, but her supporters spoke for her, saying they were very disappointed. One of the supporters actually cried because she said that Corrine Brown didn't get a chance to exit through the back, which we showed you at 5. But now you'll get to hear more about supporters who say they'll remain patient because this is not over yet. Denise Hunt cried as she spoke to reporters today after former Congresswoman Corrine Brown left the federal courthouse this afternoon.
I feel like somebody died today. That's how I feel.
Brown's friend, Mary Dennis, pointed toward Corrine Brown's long-standing reputation in the community of getting things done, including securing federal dollars for Jacksonville.
A lot of people just don't appreciate the things that she did do. But nevertheless, she did those things. And like the Bible says, to obtain mercy, you got to show mercy.
It's a reputation that many of her friends and supporters believe will now be tarnished. But they hope Brown will continue to fight to clear her name.
There's an old phrase, and that is, tomorrow the sun is going to come up. It's going to come up for me, and it's going to come up for her. And I still have a lot of work to do in this case.
And Brown's attorney says he does feel an element of sadness and disappointment, but he says he's going to go back home, think about things, and also think about the lessons learned, although he did not want to elaborate on what lessons he learned throughout this process. Reporting live downtown, Lorena Inkland, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
And Lorena talked about the friends of Corrine Brown speaking out. One of them, Senator Audrey Gibson, who our Larry Spruill spoke to earlier today after these 18 guilty verdicts came down.
Tanika, Senator Gibson tells me that she has stated since day one that one of the star witnesses, Carla Wiley, was behind this entire scheme. I talked to Gibson for about 45 minutes today after the verdict was read, and she tells me her friend Corrine Brown should not receive all of the blame.
You said that Carla Wiley was behind this, Ronnie Simmons was behind this. Why did you feel so strongly on those statements?
Well, my statements came from the fact that I've seen Corrine in action. She's very trusting. She turns things over to other people because she wants to get things done. And that's always been her MO.
Towards the end of our interview, Senator Gibson got very emotional, even started crying. I'll have that story coming up tonight at 10 and 11. Reporting at the federal courthouse, I'm Larry Spruill, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
And again, the former Congresswoman found guilty of 18 of the 22 counts against her right here in the same federal courthouse that she helped to secure funds to rebuild during her time in Congress. Brown and her attorney plan to not only fight those charges, those guilty convictions, but she also says that she plans to continue to work to serve this community. No matter what happens in this case, Action News Jax will be on top of it, and we will keep you updated as her fight to get another trial continues. We have more coming up for you on Fox 30 at 6:30, so stay with us. Back to you, John and Letitia.
All right, she was a powerful and iconic public servant.
That's right. And as Tanika said, we have continuing coverage on Action News Jax, our website and our mobile app. We have a breakdown of all the charges there, Corrine Brown's political legacy, and lawmakers' reaction.
All right, breaking news right now. New evacuations are being ordered as a fast-moving wildfire approaches more homes. Those evacuation orders are in effect for the south end of Charlton County, Georgia. They include all homes from the Jim Crawford Loop south to the Georgia Bend community. County leaders say anyone living in these areas should leave right now. Take their pets with them. We have team coverage of the fire and the growing danger crews and families face right now. We begin with Beth Rousseau live on the front lines. Beth.
Hundreds and hundreds of structures are threatened in Georgia and Florida right now. Florida Forestry and Forest Services tell me that they could see this fire grow up to 4,000 additional acres today. I want to show you where that burn is happening. They tell me this area right here, the fire is closing in on this gap. And if you go ahead and take a look right over here, you can actually see smoke. That is where crews are currently battling 50 to 100-foot flames. Fire crews are continuing to battle the hot spots and flare-ups of the West Mims wildfire.
The dryness of the fuels here are really extreme for this area.
The U.S. Forest Service took Action News Jax inside the fire's perimeter. Right now, the fire is only 12% contained. More than 144,000 acres have burned, and it's still growing.
Record high temperatures and these winds coming out of the west-southwest at 15 to 20, gusts to 25. Really make it for to have potential for large fire growth.
Take a look. You can see flames right here behind me. Officials tell me those are 3 to 4 foot flames, but they've seen flames up to 150 feet while they've been battling this fire.
It happened very, very quickly.
St. George and Pontiac are both under mandatory evacuation orders. Neighbors are channeling their fears into feeding the 711 firefighters. They filled this entire gym with donations.
Some of them aren't able to come here at the meal times and things like that, so we take the food out there to them.
Feeding these crews as they work to extinguish flames and protect these towns. Now, crews tell me you can expect to continue seeing smoke like that in the sky if you come back down here to the first alert storm tracker. Forest Service tells me that they expect to see this line expand as days go on and this fire continues to burn. They say they don't expect 100% containment until the beginning of November. We're live in St. George tonight. Beth Russo, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
And our team coverage continues with First Alert Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Mike.
And that smoke plume so evident today on 5th Street, First Alert Doppler HD. As expected, a more active fire today. The winds are stronger, the humidity's low, and the temperatures are hot, not far from 100 degrees in many spots this afternoon. You can see the fire billowing on my left-hand side here, and there it is on First Alert Doppler HD. That smoke spreading eastward across northern Duval through much of Nassau County. Callahan really shrouded in the smoke. Briceville at times. St. George, of course, the fire very close to St. George, relatively close. So a lot of smoke as this continues, this west to east wind continues. So an extreme wildfire danger for today continues right on into tomorrow and really gets a little bit worse before it gets any better. I'm tracking rain chances. Also, the new drought index that was just issued for today, and when we could see rain not just the next few days, but over the next 10 days. And your First Alert forecast after the break.
Breaking coverage of this wildfire continues in less than 5 minutes with how crews in neighboring towns are getting ahead of the fire. And on actionnewsjax.com, you can find ways to help along with pictures and video of the fire.
A new attempt to sell the GOP agenda to voters, all new on Fox 30 at 6:30, the familiar face that's behind the new Republican campaign.
Wildfire smoke shifting south, the preps being made in Florida as the fire follows.
The cell phone you rely on every day could be aging you. The damage your smart device could be causing, and reveals the simple change you can make on your phone right now that could help limit its effects. Tomorrow at 5 on CBS 47 Action News Jax.
How much did you withhold from his pay?
I was taking 50%, but he called me and threatened me, said it was illegal.
It is?
Next, Judge Judy.
Tonight at 7 on CBS 47.
I'm looking for a pest control company that I can trust.
Peninsular, we're the critter getters.
Chevy is the most awarded car company 3 years in a row.
Really?
Let's see how quickly you can read through all their awards.
2017 Motor Trend Car of the Year.
Kelley Blue Book 2016 Best Resale Value.
US News Best Car for the Money.
10 best blah, blah, blah. Only about 90 more to go.
2017 IIHS Top Safety.
2017 North American Car of the Year.
That's a lot of awards.
Get 20% below MSRP on all Malibu LT models. That's $5,200 on this Chevy Malibu. See your Southern Chevy dealers.
Murphy's Law of questionable quality. Papa Murphy's Law of unquestionable value. Tonight, home bake our new XLNY New York style pizza. Just $7 for an extra large. Papa Murphy's.
If anyone ever doubted that we respect everyone equally, regardless of who they are, just take a look at the faces of our staff. They say it all. Farah and Farah.
I'm looking for a company that stands behind their termite treatment.
Peninsular, we're the critter getters.
Life can be pretty busy, but with smarter home security from SafeTouch Security, you're always in control. We use the leading technology powered by Alarm.com to provide more secure and reliable protection than traditional systems. With our easy-to-use app, you can control your entire home from any mobile device. Let our team of experts help customize a smart home security system for you. Call SafeTouch Security today and use promo code CAMERA for a free indoor infrared security camera. Safe home, smart living. Powered by Alarm.com.
The First Alert 7-day forecast. On air, online, and on the go. Brought to you by ViStar. Save up to $5,000 in closing costs when you purchase or refinance a mortgage. Visit any branch or ViStarCU.org for details.
We've got some breaking news. Several people are recovering after a large fight at a local apartment complex on Plantation Oaks Boulevard. The Clay County Sheriff's Office tells us the fight involved both adults and minors. This is some video of some police presence there. Gunshots were even fired. At least 2 people were hurt. The investigation is underway right now. Action News Jax has 2 crews on the way there. Stay with us for continuing coverage.
Right now, smoke from the West Mims fire is visible in northern parts of Duval and in Nassau counties. The First Alert Weather Team says that the next few days are crucial for this fire. It is quite possible that this fire could jump the St. Mary's River and move into Florida. Action News Jax Kevin Clark is live in Arlington. And Kevin, Jacksonville firefighters are stacking resources now in preparation for the West Mims fire.
And that's true whether the fire spreads into Florida or Jacksonville firefighters get sent to help out other neighboring counties. Smoke has been hanging in the air in Duval County. It's from the West Mims fire. Jacksonville firefighters are seeing it too and getting prepared.
We are staffing unmanned fire engines, tankers, brush trucks. We can bring in crews overtime and then deploy them as not to deplete assets internally.
JFRD says any request to send firefighters or other resources to help fight the West Mims fire would be made through the state and could happen if and when the fire crosses into Florida. But the agency says they haven't received any calls yet from the state or from other neighboring counties. As of right now, the county is not under a state of emergency. But Mayor Lenny Curry did expand the county's burn ban. Any outdoor fires are prohibited for the time being.
You can start a fire here, and if you're burning wood, it's not a big deal. But if you get careless and take your trash and throw in there, those sparks can travel for a long ways.
Jacksonville may not be under a state of emergency, but the state of Florida is. That was part of an executive order that was issued by Florida Governor Rick Scott last month. We're live in Arlington tonight. Kevin Clark, CBS 47, Fox 30, Action News Jax.
In Putnam County, a wildfire has now grown to 25 acres. The Forest Service tells us they can't get any equipment in to plow the lines because the ground is too soft. Their new plan is to set 350 acres on fire in Crescent City and let it burn out. 100 nearby structures are threatened and may have to be evacuated.
Within the last 30 minutes, Glenn County issued a county-wide burn ban. This ban goes into effect tomorrow, will remain in effect until the drought index drops to normal conditions.
New at 6.